This is massive for the Miami Heat, as we have major updates surrounding this Heat organization, specifically the head coach in Erik Spoelstra. I'm here to break down a brand new article, which was a GM survey across the association where we got a lot of different ideas of who sits atop the league in specific categories. I'm here to break down the praise for head coach Erik Spoelstra and how he once again is in the tops of the league across the association when it comes to coaching, as well as how a young star in Miami may be the steal of the NBA draft. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Heat Digest, but first, please do remember to scroll down and click that subscribe button, as nearly 90% of you guys watching this video are not currently subscribed to the channel. We do appreciate the love and support, but now let's get to it and break down this 2025-2026 GM survey where they answered 49 different questions, giving us a great idea of inside these front offices, inside of each organization, who sits atop of the league, not only in the coaching category, but also in the sense of the player dynamic, who has the best team, who has the best roster configuration, the best front office, the best individual player, and so forth. And there are a bunch of different questions. I will tag this actual article down below in the description if you'd like to read through the entirety of it. It was published on NBA.com just earlier today on October 9th. And this has a load of information in it. We're going to focus on two different categories. The first one being the coaching side of things, where head coach Erik Spoelstra got a lot, and I mean a lot, of praise. Firstly, who is the best head coach in the NBA? Coach Erik Spoelstra got 52% of the vote and ranked first across the board in the association, with a lot of other notable names surrounding him. But it didn't end just there. If you go and continue scrolling through the article to the next question of which head coach is the best manager / motivator of people, Erik Spoelstra, again, number one in this category with 28% of the vote. And again, it didn't end there. When it comes down to the best head coach for in-game adjustments, Erik Spoelstra ranked tied for third with Rick Carlisle with 13% of the vote, just behind Tyronn Lue, who was in first. Across the board, Erik Spoelstra not only being ranked by far and away the clear-cut favorite and best head coach in the association, but when it comes down to the best defensive head coach and the best defensive schematics when it comes to head coaching, Spoelstra ranked third. It just continues. Best motivator and manager of the players ranked first. These things just don't happen overnight. This is something that Erik Spoelstra has done year after year after year, and I believe this is the 6th year consecutively where coach Erik Spoelstra was ranked in the tops of the league when it comes to the overall vote for best head coach. And this is nothing new. If you look at the accolades, if you look at the awards that have been presented to head coach Erik Spoelstra, he is in a class of very few, especially in today's current game of basketball with the current head coaches available and on really the stage that he is on. He is in a pool of very, very few. And the reason being is because he's been around the game for so long. He worked as a video coordinator in this Heat organization decades ago. And from then on, he has worked his way up, becoming a head coach and making good with all of the opportunities he has been given. And it doesn't just end there on the NBA stage of things, in the sense of just the head coach of the Miami Heat. Erik Spoelstra has been a part of Team USA basketball for a long time, and now, based off this brand new report from Shams, who tweeted it out, as well as went on the Pat McAfee show again today on October 9th, declared it and clarified that head coach Erik Spoelstra of the Miami Heat will now supersede Steve Kerr for the head coach of Team USA. This is not a surprise to anyone. Steve Kerr, we didn't know how long he wanted to do it with the back problems, which was really interfering with his vision and everything else. We didn't know how long Steve Kerr was going to actually be a head coach, especially outside of the everyday job during the regular season for the Golden State Warriors. But now that we know, during the off seasons, during the summers, we know who the head coach is going to be, and it's Erik Spoelstra, a well-deserved accolade for someone who is as well accomplished as anyone in the association when it comes down to being a head coach. Now, this is not the only set of accolades we have to address. In this, again, 49 question survey, if you will, from the GMs across the association, we also had a question saying which rookie was the biggest steal and at where he was selected in the draft, where Kasparas Jakucionis was ranked number one with 17% of the vote, above guys like Ace Bailey, Carter Bryant, and others for the steal of the NBA draft based off of where he was taken in that draft and the value that team got with the pick. Obviously, Kasparas fell in the draft, and Miami did not wait. Once again, just like the year prior with Kel'el Ware, the fact that he fell to 15 or 16 or 17, I can't remember exactly, that middle stage of the first round. Once again, Kasparas is in that boat where he falls because of the big name media talent that has been covered the league in NBA draft boards leading up to the NBA draft. And once again, Miami hitting another slam dunk of a trade. Year after year, it feels like I'm bringing you guys one of these videos, as they just have a different style of drafting players out of high school and out of college, as well as out of overseas or the development league, whatever it may be. They are just in a class of their own. They really and truly are. With Kel'el Ware letting him fall and then being able to take advantage and going out and acquire someone like Kel'el Ware, who looks like he's going to be a part of this association for a long, long time in Miami, where he's going to be a very substantial piece on both sides of the basketball floor. Look for Kasparas to be the next guy that really went overlooked in the NBA draft, where Miami did not hesitate. They went out and drafted him when they got the opportunity, and now he's going to become a star. And this couldn't come at a better time, as Kasparas hasn't played a lot of meaningful basketball, really any, because we haven't started the regular season yet. But last night in a not a training camp game, in a preseason game, Kasparas had arguably his best game yet. 8 points, not the greatest, I understand. But then you see 10 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, a plus-minus of plus 16. And then you look at the shot percentages and you understand why he only had 8 points, as he shot 28% from the field on 2 of 7 shooting, including 1 of 5 from behind the three-point line. And if you see just before my box on this side right there, he had 3 turnovers as well and no personal fouls. Overall, 10-3 turnover ratio for someone who has not played a regular season basketball game yet, who's in the preseason competing against other very elite level talent that he's going to see in the NBA regular season. This is a absolutely phenomenal start to a young, very promising career for Kasparas. I think Miami not only hit a home run in the draft situation where they went out and were able to acquire Kasparas, but also having head coach Erik Spoelstra at the helm for as long as they've had, and now allowing him to continue to rack up these accolades and being that number one coach, if not one of the top coaches in the association for years on end. Let me know down below, what are your thoughts and opinions on this NBA GM survey, if you will, and the grades that we went through, with highlighting Erik Spoelstra being at the helm of all of the coaching conversations and questions, as well as where Kasparas ranked in the sense of overall just the value that the Miami Heat got compared to these other teams, going out and drafting Kasparas in the mid of the first round while also getting as much value as they did. I think it's an absolute slam dunk, not only having head coach Erik Spoelstra on the roster in the front office leading the way for this Heat team, but also now being a part of Team USA. Players in the association absolutely love head coach Erik Spoelstra. We've known this since before the Big Three. That is a reason and a big factor to why LeBron James and Chris Bosh and all these guys migrated down to Miami, not only to win championships, but to have faith in guys like Pat Riley and Erik Spoelstra that they have a lot of confidence in, a lot of hope in, to put them in the best schematic situations going forward. And we have seen a lot of the success from that. Again, I can't wait to see how this regular season plays out, as head coach Erik Spoelstra, the best head coach in the association, will be leading the way with a great collection of talent thanks to a front office, including the steal of the draft in Kasparas Jakucionis. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you guys for watching.